The theme for today, of course, is rejoice. It's the opening word of our entrance antiphon. That's why, again, we wear the rose to remind ourselves that Lent will eventually be over and we'll enter into the Easter celebration. We are all the man born blind. But I want to put ourselves into the midst of this scene and sort of wrestle with some of the different aspects that we wrestle with in our own life, some of the areas where we struggle. When we see this blindness, and as we see in the closing sentences of our gospel tonight, it's not just physical blindness that we're dealing with. We're dealing with spiritual blindness, blindness of the soul, a blindness that keeps us from seeing the world around us the way that God does. And so he's using a sign that would have been used at the time. He's entering into the world around him. It also, again, points to our sacraments, because in our sacraments we have both matter and form. We have something physical that happens. In baptism, we have the pouring of water. At Mass, we have wheat bread and grape wine and water. In each one of our sacraments, we have the Spirit, we have God himself coming into and effecting a change in the world around it. As we talk about often, through our baptism, we're all called to share in the priesthood, the prophetic ministry, and the kingly ministry of Jesus Christ. We are priests, prophets, and kings in the world. Each one of us is sent out into the world on a mission. But notice the anger around him. The world doesn't like it. The world doesn't like the Christian message. As this man goes out on his mission, tells people of the good news, and the world fights back. Then they go to the man's parents. They say, yes, this is our son. Yes, he was born blind, but go ask him the details. And John tells us very clearly, it's because they were afraid. Isn't this us far too often? We're in the world, we're engaged, some aspect of our faith has come up. We water down what the church believes, or what we believe as Catholics. Yeah, the church says that, but I don't really believe it. We don't proclaim the fullness of the truth. And so as you're praying with this gospel, hopefully throughout this week, put yourself in the place of the parents as well. And so they go back to the man, and I love this part. This is hilarious because of just how wrapped up he is in his encounter with Christ. It changes his entire perception around him. He's had an encounter with Christ, and he's so enlivened by it. The only opportunity, the only option that he can possibly see of anybody asking any question is that they want to give their life over to Jesus as well. This is meant to be every one of us. Radical abandonment of our life to him, regardless of the cost. And if we're not in that position, it's probably our fault. It's probably because we're not praying the way that we should pray. And this gospel is telling us one of the ways which we can share that through the celebration of the sacraments of the church, using our baptismal gifts to their full, and going out into the world to proclaim the good news to the people around us, and just sharing the good things that Christ has done for us in our life. All this man is talking about is his healing. He says, this is how Jesus touched me. Well, not everybody listens to him. Not everybody accepts him. Again, that tension tells us that some did. That some were changed because of his testimony. Others will be changed by our testimony as well.